Well, I'm recording this the day after the eclipse. This is April 9th, now April 8th, of course, the solar eclipse. It was a great great science story, wasn't it? Where we the weeks and months leading up to it was in the news. That's a great kind of reminder how communication via just online, via streaming sources, via social media, just kind of conveys all of the information you need to kind of get excited about that cool event that was our solar eclipse. I'm outside now in the sunny skies. Of course, during the eclipse, it was a partial eclipse here in central Virginia, but the totality of the eclipse happened out from Texas down, moving upward through the Midwest, upstate New York, and then northern New England, where they had near 100% darkness, but mostly darkness. There was a little bit of light on the horizon from the ring around the sun, around that where the moon shadow was. But basically, it was really cool. A couple of takeaways on this I'll have coming up for you in a second, but I want to first show you just a couple of tidbits on social media that were noticeable over the past couple of days. All right, social media, boy, it really went crazy with the eclipse information, and it was great because it, just gave everybody a heads up. If you didn't know what was going on with the solar eclipse on April 8th, then you just had not been paying any attention. But this is just an example on X, or formerly known as Twitter. I just did a search filter, just put the word eclipse in, and these are all the hits I got from various things. How to wear your eclipse glasses, eclipse pictures, lots of great pictures people posted. This was after the fact. I'm recording this the day after, on April 9th, but there you can see all these eclipse pictures that were shared by people. And of course, there's some ads interspersed in there as well, as is typical on X. But basically, that's what was going on Twitter. Facebook, the same deal too. On Facebook, social media, again, going crazy. This is my page. I have a public Facebook page. I shared this story. This was on April 8th, the day of the eclipse. And it had a story about the eclipse party that was being held at, in this case, Trinity Episcopal School, just one of the many schools over the country that took the students outside and had them participate in a learning experience because of this very rare event. So that was a cool site and a cool piece, and you'll find that in the down below this video as more content. You can look at that link as well and check out that really cool story that WTVR did. Other posts on my feed, I shared various things about the eclipse leading up to it, including cloud forecasts, and then just kind of some thoughts about the eclipse, how it was more than just a spectacle. I thought it was almost like a philosophical moment where we all kind of bring our focus up to the sky instead of down here at the ground level, which we often do, and just kind of ignore everything that's going on up above us with the sun and the moon and everything else. So I talk about that more in my closing thoughts as well. But again, I shared a lot of that kind of content on my social media Facebook page. If you go to any of the media websites, so this one is from CNN, you can find a whole listing of stories that were done on the eclipse, not only leading up to it, but with the cloud forecast and such, but also just cool stories, see how zoo animals reacted to the total eclipse. And there's a story I shared, you'll see it below, when the next total eclipse is going to be. So this is the story, and I linked that in another video below, or a link below, so you can see that story in this feed for extra content for this week. But basically, it was interesting to just see all of the posts related to the eclipse, even after the eclipse happened. All right, here's some scattered thoughts on the eclipse and the coverage and such, and as it relates to this class. The communication was really cool and effective, as I showed you on the social media posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There were all kinds of information sources via social media that showed not only the pictures of the event, where the totality was happening, but also how to stay safe during the event with the glasses, the special filtering glasses, which was important information that was shared because that safety information tells you how to avoid risk when you're outdoors participating in this big astronomical event. And then the pictures themselves of when there was totality. If we were here in Virginia, we didn't see the total darkness, but for all the folks in the path, there was coverage on TV and everywhere of folks how all of a sudden the lights went out when the totality was happening. It was really, really cool. A couple of thoughts on that. Some of the coverage of it may have seemed a little bit over the top, but I think we're all riveted by that coverage. I think in terms of the journalist aspects of it, as it relates to how communications of the science was going on, meteorologists got involved a lot. They were talking in a lot of those reports about why it was happening and what people were looking at. I do think it got a little bit too much talking at times, especially many of the live reports that were happening during the time of totality, when there was the darkness and people were kind of absorbing the moment of 3 minutes of darkness during that totality of the eclipse. The reporters all felt the need to talk constantly through those moments, and I thought that was distracting. I think that was kind of a lesson on when we communicate scientific information. Sometimes you have to just be in the moment. You can't just constantly be talking about what's going on. You have to be in the moment and let people experience that moment. And people that were outside of the zone of totality, we wanted to experience that moment through the video. And so I think there was some distraction in the way it was covered in terms of too much talking at times from the reporters and such. Also, I do think some positives. I think it gave us all the opportunity to experience that total eclipse, something most of us couldn't do. It gave us a focus. When we lead our lives, we don't look up in the sky so much. I think there is great value in this, an event like this, where we remove the blinders. We walk around life like this all the time. We look down, and our entire focus of our life is from here down, right? We rarely look up in the sky. And part of the class, especially this week, I'm talking about clouds and such, is to open the visors and look up at the sky, look up at those clouds. And when you look up at the clouds, you're seeing things above us that are going on constantly, but we don't pay much attention to it. And I think the solar eclipse helped us focus our attention on the sun and the moon and the astronomy and the things that are going on around us up there that we pay little attention to. We have daylight and nighttime, and it repeats a cycle over and over. So we pay no attention to that. But it brought great focus yesterday, or I'm recording this on April 9th, so on April 8th, it brought great focus on how we kind of are distracted by everyday life by not paying attention to what's going on up there. So I think there's great value in that. In terms of takeaway for future coverage, there's the next eclipses coming up. Down the road, there's another video coming up after this one that talks about that, a report from CNN. Also, I think the learning experience by many of the students, you saw that link to that clip below as well from Trinity Episcopal High School here in Richmond, where the students got out and learned about what was going on and used that moment as a learning experience. So I think there was a lot of great value in that. And moving forward, I think the takeaway is we can use this event to learn more how to communicate science effectively, use it as learning experiences for all of us, and how we need to appreciate what's up there in the sky above us as something that is more, or just as important at least, as what's going on from here on down. Thanks for checking this out. That's the end of this video.